students mask. We still have some of those, right?
Becca blocks them. Do you want an official current students mask?
Hey,
Oh, look, it's Avery Hill.
We will deliver one to you. Avery Hill is here. Brittany is here. Hey, Ronald, how's it going? Hey, Elizabeth Perez. Did we officially decide Mr. Krabs Crab is Eric?
I'm not Eric. I'm his
sure
cousin.
Eric.
Yes.
Sorry.
I don't know about that.
It's okay. Barbie's gonna warm it up. Warm it up, Barbie. I'm about to.
Yeah, mess with the
That's what I was born to do.
loves.
Hey, Dylan, welcome. She's early
look.
for once, she says.
Mr. Krabs says that he's going to pull off a prank on us.
Well, he said I was pulling to pull, which I think means I was going to pull.
Had a coefficient
It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to type with claws.
Gotcha.
because of Mr. Krabs.
He said his name is David, and he lives in Colorado.
Yeah.
Welcome, David.
Welcome, David from Colorado, aka Mr. Krabs, aka
Eric.
Eric's cousin,
Last
which I believe is just Eric. I could be wrong. Eric's cousin is named David, apparently, but he is Mr. Krab on YouTube.
Sydney, your kids said they had good Chinese food without you.
Tina is her
Tina. Sydney said that they had good Chinese food.
It's okay. Next week.
What is good
next
Chinese
week.
food? Where do you get your good Chinese
Next
food
week.
We
from?
like Tiger Noodle
Food.
House.
Dude, you
I don't know
recommended
if that's
Tiger
where they
Noodle
got
House
it.
to me one time, and then I got
Nice.
it. It's good.
Hey, my family
They
is
always give you
here.
Free stuff.
George is here.
Hey, Natalie. Hey, Legend. Hey, Rebecca.
Hello.
Hello.
George is here. Ben
See-
finally showed up.
Hey,
not even
too
late.
late.
Not even late.
Super
Nice.
late.
We have about 2 minutes left
Early.
on the countdown. We have
She
some
specifically
special
said,
guest
"Mom,
with
we
us.
had good Chinese food without you.
No. My family loves me. They're
Hey,
like, Mother's Day is over.
Tina, even though they had good Chinese without you, next week you're going to have great food
Fancy
without
food.
them
Without
Fancy food
them.
without you.
because it's fancy.
Did we
night.
ever figure out who violinist Sterling Height? Sterling
I don't know,
Height.
but
I feel
they
like
said,
I asked,
"Welcome to
and they didn't tell me
insanity."
because they said that they would play
Welcome,
violin
David.
for us.
Welcome to Insanity.
I don't know who it is.
I don't know.
bet
Maybe
it's
someone who
cello.
plays the violin.
Gabe is here.
Yeah?
Maybe it's
Gabe,
Casey.
do you smell the smell of something that smells smelly? Oh, it says I'm Eric. Mr. Krabs is Eric.
That's
I knew it. You got me. I'm not a good liar.
Leela's here.
Pickles Cage.
Hey, Tim Salas is in the chat, everybody.
His
Welcome,
first week
Tim.
ever watching.
Welcome.
Whoa.
Then why did you ask? Do we have to talk while the videos are playing?
Wow.
Would you guys like to say hello to the
I
early arrivers?
I think Dylan is saying hi, Barbie,
early
or it could be
arrivers.
mistaken to hi, baby, which I don't think there's a baby in here, so I think she means hi, Barbie.
Ellie Lee is here.
Dylan is saying hi, Barbie.
Welcome, Ellie.
Yeah, I could be wrong, but
Hello, Dylan.
Sydney says they got orange chicken.
Barbie
from
said
Trader
hi.
Here you go,
Joe
guys.
doesn't have a
That
Dylan
doesn't-
is not saying hi to Barbie. Dylan's saying hi to Leela. No one. That's
13,
BBY is not Barbie.
12.
13,
That
12,
doesn't really count
11,
as Chinese
10,
food.
9, 8, 7.
Hey, welcome to Oasis Live. I'm Tina.
Woohoo, I'm Jenny.
I'm Chris.
I'm Danny.
Hey, you guys have just changed a little bit.
Something's different. Something's off.
This is what happens when you don't do anything for a full month. You look a lot younger.
That
You look-
that
Chris
sounds
has
about
look a
hair
lot better
and maybe
looking.
a few more tattoos.
Right, you get better looking.
For debonair.
smarter, cooler. No, just kidding.
Or
These are
facial
our
hair.
good friends, Tim and Drusif.
Oh.
Welcome.
Thank you for having us,
Tell us about yourselves. Why are you here?
because you asked.
And who are you? You are the men's
No,
minister?
I'm not Danny. I am Tim.
Yes.
Yes. and
What?
I am-
That's true.
Yeah.
This
And I
is-
am,
No way.
Danny's shocked.
I am in charge of men's ministry, and I help Drew with facility and grounds.
Name's Drew. I'm Chris's older brother. Drew Nelson. Facility and grounds manager. Just work on stuff inside and outside, and
Yeah, he makes the place look pretty. He pretty much does everything.
I would like to add to that and say that we have the best facility and grounds people ever anywhere. I've worked at a couple other churches, and I know that sometimes they can maybe be slightly grouchy because they do everything and they have a huge job. But these guys keep it
Happiest
like
people I know.
super
Funniest
fun.
people I know.
we're still grouchy.
Have a
Thank
great
you.
attitude.
Kindest people I know. They
Always
really are
happy
great.
to serve. We're so grateful for them.
Thank you.
And Tim specifically serves in our student ministry. So a few of you probably have him as a small group leader. And yeah, we're glad to have them.
Like we said, he does everything. He's like everywhere.
Everything. Yep.
So we're glad to have them with us tonight, and we want to play a little fun game
Sure.
because today is May 13th, which you may not think is very special, but it's more special than you know. Did you guys know there are multiple national holidays for May 13th? Maybe some lesser
Didn't
known.
know that.
Lesser known national holidays. So we're gonna play a Pictionary game with you guys. We've drawn some pictures, and they're gonna try to guess what the national holidays are for May 13th. Okay,
Y'all ready for
Okay.
this?
it's gonna be good because I'm an
Fire.
excellent artist.
Sweet.
Okay,
Yeah, me
this
too.
is our first. You
Y'all
have to
have to
guess.
answer.
We pre-drew this to save time. You have to guess. Here, I'm showing. I don't know where the camera is. This is the picture. Okay, this is the picture.
National something, right?
The national holiday. Can you tell what this is?
National Salad Day.
National
It is a
Pasta Day.
salad.
Oh,
Good
pretty
job.
close.
It's
Keep
salad.
going. Keep going.
National
What is on
Pasta
the
Day.
salad?
We should have a timer.
National
Chicken salad.
Crouton Day.
Oh, he got it.
Yeah.
National
Those are
Crouton Day.
croutons. Or croutons. However you
All right, now here's this artistry that I created all by myself. Right, Tina? Oh, which one am I showing
Yes.
this to? Oh,
Camera 1, camera 2.
there it is. All right, what do you guys think?
National Yoda Day.
Pretty close.
National Jump Day.
Close. Yeah, keep going, keep going.
Leap Year.
What's this guy? What's that little guy?
Frog.
Yeah, so it's National...
Toad Day.
Frog.
Yeah,
Jump Frog.
yeah.
Jump Frog Day.
Leaping
But
Frog.
make it a...
I looks like it. Still think it's Yoda Day.
A verb.
What's the, action?
Leaping? Leapfrog Day.
No, what, yours?
Frog Day.
It's Jumping Frog Day. Good
Jumping
job,
Frog Day,
guys.
exactly.
Frog Day.
That's what I was
gosh.
going to say
I
next.
can't draw this, Jenny.
Okay,
Okay.
you're better than I am. You got this.
I don't know. Can we do verbal
You wrote
clues?
words.
Okay. Think the person who sits at the front desk. I'm gonna draw. Oh my gosh. She's
Nas-
saying hello. She's
National-
smiling really big.
National Coffee Day.
Think Deb Sergi.
National
Administrative
Receptionist Day.
Yay!
Receptionist
Drew got
Day.
it again. It's National Receptionist Day, so thank your receptionist. Terrible artist.
Yeah.
Okay.
Difference.
I don't know what much more than this to do.
What is that?
The best I can do.
Can you
I don't know where to put it. Where are you
wait.
guys? Oh, that is a dirty dry erase board. All right, what do you guys think?
Can you add to that? Can you add something to that, or
Oh, I'll
It's
draw
very
something.
American.
maybe some words?
Oh no, I can't do that. That's
Can't draw words
not
in
allowed.
Pictionary.
Oh, there you go.
I don't know. Sorry.
National Seed
Is that
Day.
an apple?
No. Yeah. Keep going. Apple.
Appleseed Day. Applesauce Day.
Tree.
But it's okay. Hold on.
Looks like a.
Apple Pie
looks
Day.
like, that's like
National Apple Pie Day.
Finally got one.
that's a
Okay,
top.
one
That's
more.
a top view.
No, I think that's it. Are we done?
I thought it looked like a black hole or something.
Are you doing that? Okay. Jenny has a special one for you.
Okay.
Everyone
this
can go
is
get
boring.
some
National
apple
Stick
pie
Man Day.
and some croutons to celebrate, and then jump around like a frog.
National
Wait.
Danny and Chris Day.
Oh, very close.
Best Friend Day. National Best Friend Day.
But you guys.
Brothers.
National Tim and Drew Day!
Hey!
Yay!
Hey, nice job, guys.
That's some great drawing, guys.
We're incredible artists. We did such
Very
a good
good.
job. Anyone can
Sorry.
guess that.
Yes, so we have a couple things we want to remind you guys of. First, make sure that you are being kind and uplifting and appropriate in the comments. Remember that we have the ability to and are not afraid to block you. Dun, dun, dun. Anything else?
I think that's it. Keep commenting throughout the show because we
Yeah.
like to interact with you. And hey, Chris always begs to wear the official current students bro tank for Oasis. You've seen it in some of his update videos, but the rest of the team unanimously dislikes it. So check
We
out
hate
this
it, actually.
video.
Hey, Jenny, I got this bro take for you. Put it on.
Thanks, Chris. Maybe Danny wants a bro tank.
What the heck? I didn't want this. Wonder if Tina really wants this.
Oh, you guys, this thing stinks. Chris, can you at least wash this before sending it to me?
My bad, Tina. Here you go. Now you can put it on, Jenny.
Wow, thanks, Chris. Hey, I'm just gonna wash it again, because you know, you can never be too clean these days. So, yeah, let's just let it rinse. Oh no, I accidentally turned my garbage disposal on. Oh no, it's ripped to shreds. Tina, can you fix it?
Oh no, Jenny, what did you do? I can't sew. I know. Glue. Ew, gross. Here, Danny, fix this.
Oh, thanks, Tina, but it's all wet. I'm gonna have to dry it up. 10 minutes, right? Just put it in the fire. Oh, wow. No sacrifice there.
Nothing can stop current students. And now it's time for Kids Corner.
Now it's time for Kid Corner.
I'm Rebecca, and I'm going to be showing you how to do Christian TikTok dances.
Yeah, I'm a Christian. Sinful, but to God, I'm forgiven. It's relationship over religion. Jesus gave me purpose and a mission, so now I'm living. I'm a Christian.
What's up, guys? I'm going to teach you the Christian cannibal dance, so here we go. Fill up on the word of the Lord. Jesus has saved me. Build each other up. Don't put each other down. Jesus has filled the void in our heart. Jesus came to serve, not be served. Jesus was born of a virgin. Swing the sword of the Spirit on the enemy. And drink your grape juice and dodge the attacks of the enemy. There you go. That's the Christian cannibal dance.
What's up, boys and gals? This is the Christian way to learn Renegade. In case any of you Christian boys and gals are hip and you wanna get on this level. All right, here we go. Whoa, God is amazing. Clap in the name of Jesus. Cast out the enemy. Feel the Holy Spirit. Crazy worship hands. Stop. Swing on the enemy. Snap in the name of Jesus. Lean into God's word. My body is a temple. Vomit on the devil. Swing on the enemy. Breathe in reckless love. I love Jesus. What?
Thanks for watching Kids Corner. See you next week. Bye.
Well, thank you so much for that.
Yes.
I'm so sad because I brought the Current Students
I am
Bro
not
Tank
sad.
to put on for this segment, and the only one I could find is literally covered in lighter fluid. It smells so strong. Doesn't it, Danny? Do you like the smell?
Who put it by the other shirt? I said 10 minutes.
I really hope that
and you
nothing
left it in there for
sparks
15.
near us
But
right
anyway,
now.
Smelled before the lighter fluid.
Wait, how could that one smell
Let's
like?
be honest.
because he put it next to the
I don't know. It just does. But just like my team has really strong emotions about this bro tank,
I like it. What are you talking about?
We're going to be talking about some different types of strong emotions throughout the evening, and Tim is actually going to be back a little bit later to talk
Older
about
me.
anger
Older me is
with
gonna be with
Danny.
me.
But one strong emotion we wanted to talk a little bit about is embarrassment. I don't know if you have ever felt embarrassed before, but I know we all have, so we just wanted to take a moment to share some of our more embarrassing moments with you. One of mine has already been shared multiple times on Oasis Live, so we'll just skip.
Evan,
past
cue the video.
that one.
That's kidding. That would have been funny, wouldn't it? Yeah.
We'll skip past that one to number 2 on the list, at least the second one that I could think of. I remember when I was nearing my end of my time in college, it was time, or I started this summer internship. It wasn't the end of my time in college. It was after my freshman year of college. I went to do a summer internship in the Chicago area. And when I first got there, I met my host family for the very first time. So I was going to be living with them all summer long. And so the youth minister at the church I was interning with came over to make sure I got into the host family okay, and I was outside, like, bringing my stuff, and they were having me come through the backyard and into the back door of their house, into the kitchen. It looked like it was open. It was nighttime outside. So I just went right into it, but it turns out the door was open, but the screen door was still slid shut. And so my very first impression with the people I was going to have to live with all summer was me running right into their screen door and getting knocked over backwards.
All right, and that concludes our embarrassment moment segment. I'm just kidding.
I don't know, Jenny, what about you?
Yeah, I don't ever get embarrassed. I'm perfect. So, Danny? No, just kidding. I actually pretty much live in a constant state of embarrassment. So, I just picked my most recent story, which is I live by myself. I probably shouldn't say that, but there it is. But because I live by myself, and maybe just because I'm a paranoid human being, I pretty regularly think that someone has broken into my home. So
He's not lying.
my neighborhood police are very familiar with me. They probably know me by name. Jeremiah recently told my parents that I needed to have cameras at my house because I am constantly thinking somebody has broken into my house. So the most recent time that happened is that the beginning of this whole stay-at-home order, I decided to start fostering a dog. The first night that I had this dog, he pretty much stayed up all night crying, which a lot of times mean that the dog needs to go out and do his business. So at like midnight, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go take him out. You're supposed to like train them to not do that, but I was over it. So I was like, I'm gonna take him out. So I bring him out in the backyard, and then he does whatever. We come back in, and then I wake up the next morning, and the first 3 notifications on my phone are motion at your front door, motion at your yard, motion at your yard. And so I'm thinking, oh no, what's happening? So I look at the front door one, and it's like this neighborhood cat that comes by at 6 a.m. like every day. And then I look at the next one, and I see somebody in a sweatshirt and sweatpants just like let themselves right into my house. So I'm thinking like, there is somebody here with me right now. I'm not alone. And then I look at the next one and see that that is me in my yard letting the dog out. So
The cameras didn't help much.
no.
Made it
They
worse.
just have made me more paranoid.
I broke into my own house. Someone come help.
Luckily, I didn't get far enough to call the police that time.
You have a bunch of people in the comments section now saying that they're gonna like come to your house and tap on your
Well,
windows.
you
and
guys
stuff.
don't know where I live.
It is no. I'll have
Now,
no rest.
Danny, how about you?
An embarrassing moment that happened to me actually happened here at this church when I was interning here. One of the things that I wanted to experience was a funeral, to be able to learn like the pastoral side of things. So Darren was like, "Hey, you need to meet me at 9 a.m." And I got all like dressed up, suit, like as he would go to a funeral thing. Well, what I didn't know was that he told me to meet him at the place, and I came here all dressed up, and people were like, "What are you doing?" And like I was like, "I'm here to meet Darren, like to go to the funeral home." And he's like, he left a long time ago. He was supposed to be there at 9, and I was just like, oh. So, I thought that was like an embarrassing moment for me because you're an intern, you want to make a good impression, and the first thing you do is like not show up where you're supposed to be.
These
So.
internships aren't going very well for you guys.
Oh
Sorry, Danny.
yeah, internship. Yeah, was the youth minister's name Scott Rubin? No. Okay. Hey, Tina, what about you?
I also have a multitude of embarrassing moments that I could choose from. And one thing about me is I'm not the most graceful person either. And so that doesn't help. And mine is from earlier in my life. It was actually right after I gave birth to Sydney. We were living in Amarillo, Texas, because I had been working at a church there. But when she was about 6 months old, I stopped doing that and started waiting tables at night so that I could be home with my baby girl during the day. And so I was waiting tables, and my husband had a good job at the Amarillo National Bank, and he worked with like trust fund people and would go out to dinner with them. And so he's always like getting dressed up nice to go hang out with these people, but I didn't get to meet them very often. And so he wanted to let me meet some of his coworkers, but he brought them to the restaurant where I was working while I was waiting tables to meet them. And so I was like waiting on their table. And you want to make a good impression. It's my first time meeting these people. They're all dressed up nice in their business clothes. This one man has like a very nice, button-down shirt on. And so I was carrying out their drinks, and they'd all ordered like raspberry tea, which has like bright pink dye that you put in it. I'm carrying out this tray, and one of my coworkers behind me said something, so I turned to answer their question. As I'm approaching the table, I turned back around and just totally lost control of this thing of drinks and dump it on his coworker who's dressed so nice, and he was not happy with me. He was so upset. I was mortified. I just didn't know how I was going to recover from that. I was so embarrassed. I was just like done.
Have you spoken to him since then?
Oh no, I'm pretty sure
That was the end.
that was the end of that relationship.
One and done impression. All right.
Thankfully, my husband didn't lose his job over it or anything like that. But sometimes those embarrassing moments can make us feel so awful and like we're in such a dark. But we have a worship song for you that will make you feel uplifted. And so check this out.
In the darkness, we were waiting without hope, without light, till from heaven that stone was moved for good, for the Lamb had conquered death, and the dead rose from their tombs, and the angels stood in awe, for the souls of all who'd come to the Father are restored, and the Church of Christ was born, and the Spirit lit the flame. Now this gospel truth of old shall not kneel, shall not fade. By His blood and in His name, in His freedom I am free. For the love of Jesus Christ, who has resurrected me. Praise the Father, praise the Son, praise the Spirit, three in one. God of glory, majesty, praise forever to the King of Kings. Praise forever to the King of
This past week, there was a story that really overtook the news in the social media, and this is a story of Ahmaud Arbery. And, you know, it's a very tragic story. It was a story that is just everywhere, and people were really shocked that to find out that it was 2.5 months later that we're barely hearing about what happened. But really, like, social media really took off. It was filled with anger. I mean, even when I got an opportunity just to watch the video, there was a lot of anger inside of me. Like, there should be no reason whatsoever that a man should be killed, a person should be killed, especially the way that it looked like they were like hunting an animal. It was so tragic. And when it took social media, man, it got even worse because people were angry, obviously, of what happened, but then people were trying to justify why they decided to do that, and that made the other people more angry, and both sides were just filled with raging anger, and the things that they were saying were just so filled so bad, and it just turned people to the worst, and they didn't care if they wanted to hurt other people that took different sides of the story. And it just seems like when you're angry, you really start to lose control. You don't care about other people. You don't even care about yourself, what the image speaks out to you, like your image, what it looks like. You just don't care. As well as when we lose control. And tonight we want to talk about how we can handle anger. What are some ways? And it kind of takes me back to even when there were some times in college where I kind of lost anger. There was a time where I got off of work. I was working at Taco Bell, and I got off at 1 a.m, and that means that I would get back to the campus at 2 a.m. And I was tired. You know, nobody wants to work drive-through, and, have to make money and go to college. So I was very frustrated, of just being tired. And then I get back and I find out that one of my friends pulled a prank on me in my fridge, and I just lost it. I got mad because all I wanted was a drink of water, but he pulled a prank on me. So not thinking, I just wanted to make sure that he would never do that to me ever again. So I went and got some thumbtacks and put it in front of his dorm room. I know this is gonna sound crazy, but again, when you're angry, you're not thinking. You're trying to justify what you're doing. And I remember putting the thumbtacks in front of his door, and I was just picturing him walking out and stepping on him, and I got him back.
That was your friend.
Yeah, that was my friend. Yeah, I know. Oh. And I remember when I went back into my dorm room and I lay down on my bed, I was just thinking, Danny, are you nuts? Someone pulled a simple prank on you, and your reaction was, "Oh, I'll make him bleed. His feet bleed." And I remember, wow, you're nuts. So I got up, I took it, I picked him up, and I was like, I cannot believe I thought this was just it was okay that someone else was gonna get hurt by a simple prank. But the thing is that sometimes when we lose control, we're not thinking. We're just angry. We want to get someone back. Tim, have you ever experienced that before?
Never. No, I don't get angry. No. Actually, growing up when, I was a teenager, that was something that was my go-to emotion. I was always angry. I got into a lot of fights, got kicked out of a lot of school. It was my go-to. And even nowadays, like, I have to work at it every day, to not be angry. I got to think through, like, is it worth it? You know what I mean?
Right.
And so, it's just, yeah, I mean, there was a lot of times where, so many different, I can think of so many different things that we can talk about, but like, it was really just, if somebody did something to me, I felt like I had to retaliate. I had to do something about it, right? And kind of like you were with your friend, you're going to make them bleed. Like, that's just how it is, and yeah, absolutely, I've dealt with that.
Yeah, but the thing is that we never start out by just going all the way full angry mode. Like, I think that there are steps to be able to get to that point.
Sure.
There's even a story in the Bible where David loses control, and you're thinking to yourself, wow, this guy is crazy. Because basically David and his men, they're protecting these lands. It's in 1 Samuel 25. It's a good story. But basically he's protecting the lands with 600 men. And he goes, he's protecting this guy named Nabal, who has a bunch of shepherds, sheep. He's very wealthy. Nabal does not know that David is protecting his lands. But they come to a point where David loses, they don't have any more food, and they need food to be able to keep the enemy out. So David sends some of his men to Nabal and says, hey, we need some food. You don't know this, but we've been protecting your lands. Can you send us some food? Nabal said, I don't know who you are. I'm not going to give you, you could be a nobody and I'm going to give you food. No, like, I'm not going to do it. David hears that Nabal said no. His response was, I'm going to murder you and I'm going to murder every single male that works for you. Like, that went from 0 to 100. You're like, wow, that's nuts. For someone saying no to you, your response is murder. I'm going to murder, like, everyone because you told me no.
Right.
And again, I think that there's steps to get to the point where you actually lose control, right?
Sure, yeah, and I mean, but sometimes it does feel that way, right? Like you go from 0 to 60 just like that, right?
Right.
And so, yeah, there's a couple of steps that I want to talk about, but as I do this, will you kind of do our illustration with the balloon?
Sure.
Yeah. So this first step, right? I think we've all been here, especially now that we've all been, at home and all together. Yeah. So it comes out as irritation, right? Like, you get a little irritated, right? And those little pet peeves that you didn't know people had because you're not there all day. That second one is like, maybe it was something that, your friend or your parents or, your older brother or sister said that you keep dwelling on, like you keep thinking about it. Yeah, that's another one. You're getting there. And then, that second one, you start thinking, okay, you thought about it so much. Now you're thinking, how are they going to pay for this? Right. It's kind of getting to the wrath part. Right now you're taking God like, okay, well, what are you going to do? Right. Yeah. So then you get to this next step where you do something where you regret what you did. Right. Fury is you're getting there. Right. But it's not the last step. Right. There's another one where I think where you were talking about the guys earlier, this rage where you kind of just go dark and you don't care who gets hurt. You don't care and like the balloon, we just lose it.
Right, and then everybody sees it, right?
Sure,
like,
sure.
It's just out of control. We keep doing it. We're not able to release it, and then we just let it all out and it blows up.
Sure.
And it's pretty bad. I mean, it really is. So like how can we learn to kind of like leave some pressure out, right? So we don't lose control, so we don't allow anger to really overtake us. There's 4 things that we want to talk about tonight that could help us do this. The first step is to really reveal the source of your resentment. I don't know about you, but I feel like anger really is a second emotion. Yeah. We always have a first emotion in what we're feeling, and the way that we want to react to things or the way we want to express it is through anger. Why? Because anger, everybody understands anger. If I get mad, just like the balloon, you could see it. Like you could see me getting mad, and it gets immediate attention, right? So, for example, your parents promise you something changes, and then you get mad. You yell at your parent. You slam your door, or maybe you even rage quit, right? Maybe your son has been playing video games or something, right? And you want to break a controller, right?
Right.
In reality, you were kind of disappointed. Your parents had made a promise. The promise changed. You didn't know how to express that disappointment, but the only thing that you knew how to express that they could understand what you were feeling is anger. So you decided to slam your door. You decided to, like put a hole in the wall, whatever it might be. Like, right. That's what happened. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I think that next step should be, think about the reaction you're fixing to do. Like, think about what you're fixing to do. Sometimes we kind of just like slam the door, right. And I know because I have a son who, sometimes he gets upset because, for whatever reasons, maybe the internet cuts off a little too early in the evening, but he gets upset and he'll slam the door, and I'm like, did you really mean to slam the door because you're upset, or did the wind catch it, But thinking about your reaction before you do that is key, right? Proverbs 29:11 says, "Fools vent their anger." They're always talking out loud. They're always talking about why they're mad. But it says, "But the wise quietly hold it back." Right? They think they're kind of sitting back and they're thinking like, "Hey, would this next move get me in trouble, or is it going to
repercussions and stuff?"
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think it's sometimes we let our emotions kind of dictate what our reactions are. And, so I think that would be, think before you react.
Yeah, it's kind of like going back to the rage quitting when I show you some videos of people getting mad at video games.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, it's a huge thing, and people get mad, they break stuff, and then like 5 seconds later, they regret what they did. Like, oh, I just broke my computer screen, I just broke my controller, and like what am I gonna do now? It's like you really need to think before you act, right? The other thing that we could do to kind of relieve some pressure here is to restrain our remarks. It's so easy for us to always say something back to the person who's mad at us, but even worse, it's always so easy for us to go around and tell others how frustrated we are with someone. Like, for example, say you do something, I get frustrated with you. Then I go over here to Tina and I tell her, "Man, can you believe Tim? Mm-hmm. Like, he's just so frustrating." And then she all of a sudden is like, "Yeah, you know what? He is frustrating." And then her balloon starts blowing up. Like she starts getting angry too about the situation. And then all of a sudden I have a bunch of other people who are angry at you. Mm-hmm. And here's what Ephesians 4:29 says: "Do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouths, but only what is helpful for building others up according to their needs, that it may benefit those who listen." If I'm frustrated with you, I go to Tina, tell her I'm frustrated with you. She will probably get frustrated at you as well. But that's not helping her out. It doesn't benefit her by hearing me just lay everything out, and then she get made. So we have to be able to build each other up. Yeah. That's a way for us to restrain our remarks, to say, if what I'm going to say, is it going to build others up or not? Mm-hmm. And if it's not going to build others up, this is going to continue to blow up the balloon, or fill up that anger inside of us.
Yeah. And, that last one, I think, learning to release the desire to retaliate, right? Or to get back at your friend who did whatever he left in the refrigerator, right? Learning to deal with those things, learning, like, recognizing the reason why you're upset, recognizing why is the next step going to get me more in trouble, or is it going to help the situation, right? But learning to release that desire, that's easier said than done, right? When you get mad, or when you get to one of those places, sometimes you do get from 0 to 60. Sometimes it is hard to not think about ways of retaliating. And so, but Matthew 5:25 says, "Settle your matters quickly." And I think, you have to, right? Because if not, it starts to fester in your head. You start to think about more ways that upset you. It gives you time. If you don't deal with it right away, you go to Tina and you tell her why you're upset with me now. Tina and everybody else is mad at me. So you got to learn to deal with those things quickly. That was one of the things, growing up for me was hard, because I didn't learn that right away. That wasn't something that was taught to me. I just got angry and then just stayed angry for years, And so that was one of the things that I had trouble doing. It was easier said than done, right? We can say it all day long, but as I learned to kind of communicate that to my kids, hey, you need to talk about it. If there's something that you have, with your friend, you guys need to work it out, because there's no sense in losing a friend over it.
Right.
And I think that, God, because God commands us to kind of, learn to forgive, it's one of those things where it doesn't matter, who tells you to forgive. It's got to be in you, right? You have to want to forgive.
Right.
But I mean, at the same time, we're commanded to. So even if we don't want to, we need to do it.
Right. We're following Christ. We have to forgive
right.
others.
Right. Yeah. And like I said, easier said than done. But, if that's something, God forgave us, right?
Right.
What his son did for us on that cross, I mean, hey, we didn't deserve it, but he did it anyway because he loves us. And we should love like that.
Right.
So, I think, yes, it is hard to forgive sometimes, but it is the right thing to do.
Yeah. It is going to be the hardest thing that God ever commands us to do, is to forgive someone who has hurt us, who has made us angry. I want to really close with this story because I think it really hits home on the ending here, because there's this college student in Wyoming. His name was Takanda, and he was above the drinking limit. He was drinking and driving, and he crashed into this other car that was filled with 4 teenagers. It killed 2 of them, a 15-year-old and a 17-year-old. Very tragic story. And when they went to court, one of the parents of the teenagers, and they wanted not only the judge, but the person who Takanda, who killed those 2 teenagers, to know that they forgave him. Wow. Like, it's a huge thing. Like, I don't have any kids.
Yeah.
But just imagine someone taking the life of one of your kids, and it's a huge thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And here's what the mom said. The mom said, "I am begging you, let Takanda make something of himself in the real world. Don't send him to prison where he's going to get hard and bitter. That boy has learned his lesson 1,000 times over, and he'll never make that same mistake again." Wow. This is the mom telling the judge, don't do it. Don't send him. She understood what happens when we hold on to this anger. And then the dad echoes it again. He says, "I promised myself one thing that day. I promised myself I would not get angry and I would choose forgiveness." He knew what happens when we hold on to anger, that we lose control. He would be dwelling in it every single day. This guy took my son. And he would just be an angry man. And like you said, you have an incredible testimony about like where anger gets to you. And that's huge, to be able to choose forgiveness. So students, I don't know where you're at. I don't know who you're mad at, who you're angry at. But man, these are some ways that you can really relieve the pressure out of your anger. To be able to know where it's coming from. What's the source? It's not because you're just angry. There's a source behind it. Think before you act, because sometimes you may do something that you're going to regret. The other thing is to really restrain your remarks, hold back. The Bible says to be slow to speak, but quick to listen. And lastly, the hardest thing you'll be able to do is to forgive, to be able to let go of you being angry at that person. Let me pray. Father God, I thank you so much just for this this hard lesson, Lord, that you have given to us. You knew what it would cost to send your son to die on the cross. You know the cost of forgiveness, of being able to let go. And I pray, Lord, for students, for ourselves, Lord, the times that we get angry, times we're filled with irritation, we want to pay someone back for what they did to us. Lord, I pray that we're able to remember these 4 different ways that we can relieve the pressure, because it's a dangerous path to go on, to be able to just continue to be angry with people. One little small thing can make us go ballistic, go just yell and say things that we may regret. I pray, Lord, that we remember this truth of being able to be slow to speak, Lord, and quick to listen. We pray these things in your son's name. Amen.
Amen.
Hey, right before we move on, I really want to show you this great video. It's called Kids Theater, that we did together as a student ministry.
Okay.
It's about dinosaurs, fairies, and sugar.
Okay.
Check it out.
Welcome to Kid Theater. Today, we have a play that was written by my daughter, Rebecca, and Mackenzie Chambers. No one at this table besides Jenny has read this play yet, so you are going to experience with us for the first time the acting out of the play titled
The Fairy Problem of the Dinosaur.
Okay, the characters are narrator, fairy godmother, twin sisters. Oh, they have 5
You should
characters.
be both of them. You should be both twins, Jenny. Danny, do you want to be narrator or dad?
I'll be narrator.
I mean, he already has a mustache.
You should be narrator and dad. You can be the fairy godmother.
Yes.
I'm the fairy godmother?
Yes,
Because
Okay.
narrator only has like 2 lines. And then you and I can be the sisters. Do you want to be Alyssa or Bianca?
I will be Alyssa.
Okay. I'm Bianca.
Got my fairy godmother
That's
hood.
right. You came prepared.
That's
Wait, but who's dad?
He's dad
Danny
and
is
narrator.
dad
And
and narrator.
narrator. Okay.
Girls, calm down here. I need to tell you something. I'm going on a trip for a year. I bet I have a surprise for you to take care of. Well, I bet I have a surprise for you to take care of. You.
That's how Danny's gonna talk to his kids one day. Girls.
Dad, can you tell us who's taking care of us? Because we really want to know. And we want to know if it's a real person.
Yeah, we really want to know. So can you tell us? Because we're just so excited to finally get a break from having to do all the princess stuff.
There's also a vacation spot for you from your visitor who's going to take care of you. Because you know how they show up in the fairyland. Sleep. Oh. The princesses are going to have the best time of their life because their father is always making them do princessly orders, so they want a break. The girls found out when they woke up that they were in another place.
Where are we?
Come on, enough talking. Let's go explore.
Is narrator reading the...
I don't know. They just
Comes up to the girls and stops at the door.
You're in fairyland. You have wings. You can fly.
Look, I have wings. I wonder how long I can fly.
I wonder too, but maybe it might be hard to fly.
They started to wobble.
I need your help.
You guys can wobble.
Something's coming.
What's coming?
I'll tell you when you're older. But first, we have to stop it.
No, I want to know now.
Yeah.
Fine, I'll tell you. There's a dinosaur attacking fairyland. We must defeat him.
Is going to be fine, or is there any problems? The dad is calling them on the phone. The girls didn't want to tell the dad what's going on.
Oh, everything's great. We've never had any problems.
Are you sure? Okay, bye.
Look, the dinosaur's coming. We have to hide.
Hey, maybe we can make it a slingshot.
Are you sure that's going to work?
I don't know, but we'll give it a try.
It's not going to work. The dinosaur is too big and too unstoppable. We'll have to try something else.
Hi, girls. What's that sound?
What sound?
That stomping sound.
Oh, nothing. Bye.
Then they try the toilet thing like in those Barbie movies where they use the plunger thingy and throw it at them. Or you could do a tranquilizer.
Let's do the tranquilizer thing, because then he will fall asleep and our strongest fairies in fairyland can take him.
They're not strong enough.
Hey, girls, I have a surprise for you.
What surprise?
I'm coming home early. I'll be there in 2 hours.
No!
Sugar, sugar, sugar. How about sugar?
That was Rebecca. How about we can make a bow and arrow or go get one from the training area?
Yeah, let's get one.
Try and it could work.
Charge!
He's going down!
tried it out and it worked.
Yeah, it worked.
I kind of miss the dinosaur.
Hey, you found our pet. What do you think? What happened to him? Eek.
At the same time, right?
Oh well, let's just get cleaned up and go home and take a little snooze. I'm tired because I'm so bored.
The
end.
That go on and win some Academy Awards or something?
I think the kids are right.
Question
Hamilton.
is, how many of our students were able to catch all of the deep metaphors within that?
So many.
The best part while they were telling me that script was that they said, "Can we play it now?" And I said, "Play what?" And they said, "This." I said, "Sure."
Hey, Jenny, you know what I think of when I think of fairies?
What do you think of?
Fancy things.
Ooh, why would
Fancy
you think of fancy things?
Fairies are fancy.
Speaking of fancy, I think there's something fancy happening pretty soon, maybe? No?
Something fancy is happening next week.
Fancy.
I
Yeah,
believe
we're-
something fancy is happening.
I know, I was waiting for you guys to...
Yes. Fancy night, right?
Just say it together.
Hold on, let's try again. Ask us again.
Yeah, one more time. One more time. Uno más. En español.
Is there something
En español.
fancy?
Yes!
Sí.
Yes!
La semana que viene. Vamos a ponernos
Tell
todas
us
las
more.
cosas. Vamos a comer.
Yeah, we're gonna have fancy night. Just to clarify, because this seemed a little like a gray area last week, this is still going to be online. We will not be able to meet in person for this, unfortunately. But we do want you guys to dress up. We're gonna dress up. We're gonna eat some fancy food. So maybe get yourself some fancy food. I don't know. What else should they do?
You should totally tune in because we're gonna give some awards away.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
awards.
you gotta like compete and nominate yourself for
You
some
think,
awards.
you
and-
think we'll get best host awards again this year?
I sure hope so.
I don't think so.
Three years in a
running.
row.
3
We
years
have a little
running.
competition this year.
Yeah, I mean.
Oh, it got real quiet.
Yeah.
Well, we hope that you guys join us online next week, 6:25 p.m. for Fancy Night. Not only because it's going to be a ton of fun, but also it's going to be our last Oasis Live, at least for a while. Maybe you and or your families received the video that Darren, our lead pastor, did that went out to everyone in the church about what some of the next steps are going to be looking like during the month of June for our church to start doing some more stuff in person happening outside. And so during the month of June, we don't have all of this perfectly planned out yet, so we will let you know as we do, but wanted to at least throw a little teaser out there that during the month of June, we won't be doing Oasis Live, and we are instead going to be having a few outdoor things that you'll be able to participate in.
Outdoors.
So stay tuned.
That's all you're just gonna tease them.
Just gonna tease them.
All right.
Little tease.
Last thing for you guys to know is we're having a summer retreat conference retreat. It's gonna happen July 16th, 17th, and 18th. And if you go to currentathome.org, and you go to current students, you scrolly down, all the way down. I'm trying to be fancy, guys. And you click on the register for either junior high or high school. You got to be able to register either for junior high or high school. If you're in junior high, you go to.
For junior high.
Okay, just want to. Some people may, you never know. Some kid be like, "Oh, I'm gonna be funny. I'm gonna register for junior." I can't.
Now that you said so.
Yeah, well, hey, joke's on you because it's gonna happen at the same time. So, July 16th, 17th, 18th. Cost for that is so cheap. I think
So cheap.
cheaper than CIY.
$150 rather than $500.
That's
Yeah,
the truth.
that's so
Register.
much
You know
cheaper.
you've been dying
Yeah.
to see each other, so we want you to come.
And
Yes.
if we do end up having to cancel it due to restrictions, then you get all
the
your money
monies.
refunded, so you don't need to worry about that.
You could buy yourself something fancy, I guess,
Yeah.
and wait for
Or give the money
fancy
back
night.
to your parents who probably paid for it.
Yeah, or put it away for college or a car, or tithe it to the Lord.
This has been a fun Oasis Live. Hey, Girls.
Girls.
I don't know why the dad sounded like
Are you
a
good?
frog.
Would you like to give us the sign-off countdown?
In sync.
In sync.
2.
Bye.